And I'm going to tell you that we can have it all, but I'm going to start with a disclaimer. Depends on what all means. We all know that each and every one of us cannot have everything each and every one of us want. And what we hope for actually has two parts. We want what we most care about. And there's another part that has to do with the fact that we want what the people we care about want. We want what the people we love and our families and what our community that we live in want. That ends up in what they call quality of life. We ought to have a better word for it because it's really fairly special in terms of what our lives are. If we're lucky, we live in a community that cares about the same things that we care about. We are lucky in Martin County. We care about our river and our neighborhoods and each other. Even on a bad day, when they're dumping Lake Okeechobee, the majority of residents don't think this is a lousy place to live. We love it. We want to keep what we care most about. Because of that, the recently restored introduction to the comprehensive plan lists quality of life for the people who live here as an overarching goal. Development groups have challenged that idea. They have declared in court that it is illegal to have quality of life as a goal in your comprehensive plan. I swear they did. They are wrong. In spite of the fact that we have a monumental fight between the slow growth and the pro-growth forces every 2 years in Martin County, I believe we have a community consensus that Martin County is a special place to live. We don't have all the advantages of big city living, but we don't have all the disadvantages either. We can't go skiing and sledding today, but we can fish and splash all year long. The argument we hear from developers and their consultants, from the Economic Council and the Chambers of Commerce, is that trying to hold on to our quality of life cripples our economy and starves our children. Rather than shouting back and forth, it's always worth checking on the facts. You have a packet of information, at least I hope it got here. I've been working to get it to put together, and without Sue York and Donna, I'd never gotten it all together, that I've been working on for the last month to try to find accurate sources of information about the things we argue about. So we know what the best source you can find from the state of Florida or from a variety, from the census or a variety of other sources. I've got websites and numbers there, so you can check the calculations. And you can see for yourself if the sites are reliable. I think that's important. When we shout statistics at each other and we don't tell where they came from, we're not getting any further than just shouting. I looked at the statistics for the 7 counties on Florida's southeast coast. That takes us from Indian River County and St. Lucie County to the north, down to Palm Beach County, Broward County, Big Old Dade County, and Monroe County at the far south. We are not the smallest county. Monroe County and the Florida Keys have 77,000 residents. Martin County has 153,000 residents. We are the slowest growing of all 7 counties. We are the least dense of all 7 counties except for Monroe County. We look like a test case for whether bigger, and faster is better than slow and steady. It's no surprise that we don't have the unhappy afflictions of big city living. But we don't have regular drive-by shootings. I go back and forth to Miami once a week, and they've got a headline drive-by shooting every week. I can't remember when we had our last drive-by here. We don't generally have lots of home invasion robberies, so it's not even on the front page. And we don't have 10-lane expressways that, in spite of the 10 lanes, are bumper to bumper and not moving. We tend to believe that the bigger you are and the faster you grow, the worse the traffic gets. I checked the statistics. It's true. In terms of traffic accidents per 1,000 population, We're a little higher than Indian River and St. Lucie County, and much less than the counties south of us. In terms of injuries from traffic accidents on a per capita basis, Martin County looks good. Only Indian River County is safer, seemingly, to drive in. And I'd ask you to look at the statistics for violent crime. Martin County's golden. In spite of what they say about us, you people are peaceable. No county out of the 7 has a lower rate of violent crime. Not surprisingly, the rate of violent crime is almost 3 times as high in Dade County. That's the rate per 1,000 population. Safe may sound dull to more adventurous souls, but it's a nice thing to have, especially for the children. 4 years ago, the Economic Council Political Action Committee sent out a lurid color postcard saying, "Children would starve if Ann Scott was elected commissioner." Ann was elected. The children did not starve. Not surprisingly, the statistics show children are better off in slow-growth Martin County. Martin County has the lowest rate of child poverty of the 7 counties. Martin County families have fewer severe housing problems. That's a census measure of severely overcrowded housing with lousy plumbing and no kitchen facilities. Best of all, children under 18 in Martin County are less likely to die. The rate per 100,000 children in Martin County is 36. In Indian River County, it's 57. All of the other counties have a higher rate than Martin County. And the Florida Health Ranking Organization ranked Martin County 3rd out of all 67 counties in Florida in overall health incomes. Martin County schools are rated 3rd out of Florida's 67 counties in a Sarasota Herald Tribune study. Based on student performance at grade level, from grade 3 to grade 10 in FCAT scores, Martin County schools, according to the Department of Education, are far better than any of the 7 counties in Southeast Florida. Look at those statistics in your packet. See if you were moving here with your business and your kids were still in high school, where you would move. So it's simply not true that we're wallowing in misery in Martin County because we're slow growthers. It's equally true that we're not no-growthers. When I got here, we had 28,000 people. We've got 153,000 people. But we've done it more slowly and more steadily. We've done it with less boom and less bust. But what about dollars and cents? Are we failing our residents economically and destroying business opportunities? 76% of Martin County residents own their own home. That's the highest of all 7 counties. Home values in Martin County are right in the middle. 3 counties are higher, 3 counties are lower. The median household income in Martin County is higher than it is in Dade, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties. That's not an average income. That's the household income where half make more and half make less. Advocates for faster, fiercer growth suggest that those statistics represent rich retirees and not the local economy. 8 years ago, the Stuart Martin Chamber of Commerce paid a self-proclaimed economist to produce a report that said that the Martin County Comprehensive Plan was destroying the county's economy and making us one of the poorest counties in the country. It claimed that the urban boundary and the strict planning rules were destroying our tax base and that we needed to line our expressways with commercial development in order to survive. The statistics in that study appear to have been invented out of whole cloth. They did not match national statistics of the census or the Department of Labor. The author said they were from private sources that he could not divulge. That report went on to say that Martin County was a servant-based economy with a few very rich people and a whole lot of poor people. That's not true. The Florida Health Ranking Organization provides a measure for income inequality. It's based on the ratio of the top 20% earnings versus the bottom 20% earnings. In the 7 counties, Martin County comes out right in the middle. Let's look at real statistics. I think you'll be surprised. A lot of people accept the notion that environmental protection and neighborhood protection will restrict economic growth, but it's sort of a trade-off we have to make because it's such a nice place to live. You probably wouldn't guess that an area that is alleged to have a depressed economy without sufficient commercial opportunities would have the highest, that is, the very highest, retail sales per capita in the whole region, would you? Except for Monroe County, down in the Keys, Martin County's retail sales per capita are the highest on the southeast coast of Florida, from Indian River County right on through Dade County. But the critics then tell you that we need more industry, and that without paying new manufacturing businesses to come here, we will not be able to maintain a decent tax base. The census measures something called manufacturing shipments by county. If you take that billion-dollar figure and divide it by the county's population, you get a per capita figure on manufacturing. I confess I did not think Martin County's figure would be high, but I thought I needed to check all the figures and tell you what they said. A whole lot of people will be surprised, including me, that Martin County has the highest manufacturing dollars per capita of any of the 7 counties. And our tax base? Our tax base per capita is way higher than the biggest cities south of us. It's more than twice the per capita tax base of St. Lucie County. It's higher than any of the 7 counties except Monroe County. Over and over. The numbers seem to show that even if we can't have it all, we can have a whole lot of it. I apologize for drowning you in statistics. I invite you to take home a packet. We'll put it on the website. And check those numbers out. I want to know if I made mistakes. I want to know if they're more accurate sources. I want to know the best and most accurate information we can get to show where we are in Martin County. Martin County is a real place where real numbers show that being a good place to live and taking care of your environment is good for people and it's good for the economy. What I want to know most of all from those who oppose that idea and those who think that we need to do away with the rules that we keep in place to keep what we care about, what I want to know from them is, can they show us a county in Florida that exemplifies what positive benefits, faster growth, and looser rules can accomplish? And if they can find such a county, and if we should go there and look at that county, will we want to move there? Does it have what we care about and cherish in Martin County? Martin County isn't perfect. There are things we can do better. But residents here over the last 40 years have accomplished something you can all be proud of. Thank you.